Here's another story from Baffling Mysteries number 6. This one's called Horror on Canvas. In a split second, a carefree life was turned into a thing of horror, and the fires of love became the glowing embers of deadly hatred. And in this tale, a man whose mission was to create beauty became a twisted creature of death, and his once skilled brush painted horror on canvas. I can't control the car. It's skidding. I'm going to crash. On a wild, rain-swept night, a speeding car skidded out of control to crash with sickening impact, rending metal and glass, carrying a young artist named Blake Roberts to apparent doom. Soon after the crash, ugh, what a mess. That face. Yeah, the poor guy. He's better off dead. I'll go call the morgue wagon, Joe. In 20 years in the force, I never saw anybody that messed up. That midnight, there was a broken silence where the hand of death was harshest. The city morgue, for suddenly one of the shrouded still forms groaned and sat up. Where am I? What is this place? The morgue. I'm in the morgue. I remember the crash. Why, they think I'm dead. I must get out of here. I'm not dead. I don't belong here. Then, hey you, who are you? Where are you going? Back to the living where I belong. What's the matter, Mac? Are you nuts or something? Ah, that face! Geez, Mr. Sensitive over here. You're trying to make me stay in this house of death when I belong with the living. Nothing shall stop me. Then Blake Roberts saw his mangled face reflected in the mirror, and the full impact of the horror that had befallen him struck with sickening reality. My face. My face. My face! No, you're choking me! Ugh! Die. Since my face revolts you, you'll never have to look at it again. For the record, if someone's being strangled to death, they cannot talk. Out into the raging storm he fled, knowing the awful truth, knowing that now he would be shunned by all men. No, no, no! I'd be better off dead. This horrible face! And, as always, the weight of tragedy fell on the shoulders of the ones left behind. And in the apartment of Joan Gordon, Blake's fiancée, there were tears and sorrow for the dead man. Oh, Ted, why did this horrible thing have to happen? Joan, you mustn't. This won't do Blake any good. He wouldn't want you to be unhappy. Ring! The phone. I'll get it. I'm speaking for Miss Gordon. This is Ted Saylor. What? It can't be. All right, we'll be there shortly. What is it, Ted? What happened? Joan, brace yourself for a shock. Blake's body has disappeared from the morgue, and an attendant was murdered. What? Can it be that Blake is alive? Later, at the morgue, frankly, we don't know. The thing is a complete mystery to us. As far as we know, Blake Roberts is dead. I don't know what to tell you beyond that. I see. Oh, Ted, if only I knew whether Blake is dead or alive. Don't worry, Joan. We won't leave anything undone to find out. But the days became weeks, and the weeks months. And 6 months later, Blake Roberts, in a garret studio in an almost forgotten part of the sprawling city, was hard at work painting. They used to say that I painted beauty, but now I have only hatred and horror in my heart. Beauty is gone for me. Now I paint horror on canvas. I read in the papers that Joan and Ted are getting married, but first they're holding a memorial exhibition of my work in the museum. I have a little surprise for them when the exhibit opens tomorrow. They'll find the masterpieces of the new Blake Roberts, masterpieces of horror. That evening, at the museum where the exhibition was to be held, no one is allowed in here, Mac. It's after closing time. That's why I came now. There's no one to interrupt my work. You'll have to get out and... Ah! Ha! 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 Trying to stop me? Nothing can stop a dead man. Then Blake put his mad plan into work. I'll hang these new ones. these ugly, sordid paintings which come from the depths of my horror-racked soul. And I'll destroy the old, beautiful paintings which came from the brush of the Blake Roberts who exist no more. A furor was caused when the slain guard was found, followed by the discovery of the mutilated paintings and the ghastly substitutes. But to Blake it made no difference. Like a man inspired, he worked day and night on a new painting. And after long, frenzied hours of madly inspired work at the painting, finished, the greatest triumph of my life. This painting shall be my guide, my mentor, for in it I have poured all my hatred and bitterness. It is foul and as evil as I am. And from it I shall draw the strength and courage of my mission, to destroy beauty. I shall kill, and kill again wherever I see beauty. After the completion of the painting, Blake Roberts became a man possessed, for the bloodlust rose in his veins, and he became a mad, demented killer with one mission: to seek out and destroy beauty. Daily Herald, monster still at large, another beauty slain. Again and again he struck, growing bolder with each slaying, yet able to avoid capture. Marianne Terry, the most beautiful girl in the world, in Orchids for Tonight. I shouldn't have stayed this late. There's no one around. I'd better get a cab. I've waited a long time for you. No! Too late. You are so beautiful, but in a few moments that beauty will be gone. You will be a corpse, a rotting, ugly corpse. Ugh! You're growing uglier and uglier. I have destroyed your beauty. Later, if only we could catch him. He's a monster. They named him right. The poor girl. The pattern of death continued, and with each crime, Blake's twisted mind became further lost in the maze of his hideous madness. For now he spoke to the painting, and seemed to hear it answer him. Now tell me what to do. I followed your bidding, and I must go on destroying, bringing misery, blighting beauty. You're forgetting Joan and Ted. Today is their wedding anniversary. They are happy. You must destroy her, for Joan is very beautiful. Yes, she must die too. She must be made to suffer the extreme ugliness, death. Out into the night that was wild with rain and lightning, a night like the one on which he met his accident, Blake plunged, in his heart a mission of death, highlighted against the macabre background of wind and rain and lightning. Later, in Joan and Ted's home, Joan was getting ready for a gay anniversary party. A gay anniversary party? They must be in Massachusetts. There she is. She looks well and happy and beautiful. Soon I'll change all that. I've come back, Joan. You're Blake. Aye! Joan, what? I'll kill you, too. The two men locked in a death struggle, and Ted's frantic hand found a bread knife. Ah! Must get out of here. The painting. Back to the painting. Like a stricken animal, Blake plunged through the storm, seeking the only refuge he knew, while the pursuit behind him followed on his heels. I've come back to you. This is the end, Blake Roberts. Come closer, for now you must go back to the death which you cheated a year ago. And as the dying madman staggered to the painting, the monstrosity he had created entered his body, for his painting was Blake's soul, the evil, twisted soul that had been formed on that night of horror when he awoke in the morgue. In the next ghastly moment, Blake was returned to the arms of the death he had escaped, for in truth, these past months he had been a living dead man. As he crumpled to the dust of the grave, the door was smashed in. There's nobody here, Mr. Sailor. Are you sure you followed him? Yes, when I picked you men up, I saw him run in here. What? No one here, just this skeleton in rags. And these horror paintings. I don't understand how... Ted, take me home. It's all too horrible. All right, darling. But I wonder if we will ever find out who the monster was. I know it was Blake, but wherever he is, I'll not reveal the secret of his tortured brain. The end.